Well, thank you for joining us, Amy
Hi.
Smart.
Thank you.
How has your weekend been so far here in Indiana?
It's good. Lovely people. I feel like I've had some really good conversations with some people and met Amy too.
I love that. A tale of two Amy's.
Tale of two Amy's. Yeah.
Well, we will be doing some fan questions. So if you have any questions, start thinking, and then I will signal for you guys to come down here to where this microphone is. But one of my favorite questions to kind of break the ice is, it's easy to look at IMDb and see what somebody's first professional role is, at least on there. But for you, what was your first professional role, and how did that kind of set you up for where your career took you?
I feel like, my first role was in a MTV Rock the Vote vignette. Which was kind of fun and cool with Giovanni Ribisi and Nick Stahl. And I played a coked up model, so I sniffed milk powder, and I was like, whoa, this is working. Okay. And then there's always been increments of, okay, now I'm the lead. My first lead in a movie was Outside Providence, and that was a huge, I was so excited when I got that because it was just a really fun movie. It was, again, like my first lead, so I felt so much sort of pressure, and we all lived in Rhode Island, and it was just like a fun experience. And then Varsity Blues was like our first studio film. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that one of the perks of acting is getting to travel, and you've obviously gotten to kind of go around the world and see different things with your career. Is there a specific place that you've worked in that had a lasting impact on you?
Yeah, I worked in Hong Kong.
Oh, wow.
And I shot all nights on a horror movie called Seventh Moon. And we filmed out in this place called New Territories, where we filmed all night, and there was a lot of burials out there. And they were very superstitious, so they did a lot of rituals to make sure that no spirits haunted the production.
Oh, wow.
So they had a whole ceremony to start the production. And then every night they came around to our trailers and gave us 3 sticks of incense. And we had to bow to the 4 northwest, east, south to make sure we're protecting the space before we started filming. So that was kind of interesting and cool and different.
Did you take that custom with you onto other sets?
I did not.
No need to.
No, but it was neat. I'm glad I don't want any spirits haunting our production, so I'll do it.
Oh, that's so cool. Obviously, I feel like one of the roles that you've had that a lot of people know is Starship Troopers. What was that experience like for you to have very early on in your career and to still be talking about it so many years later? I mean,
who would have known? I wouldn't have. I mean, I didn't get the script. I just got my character. And again, we were filming on a stage. I mean, I only have a few scenes in it, but Paul Verhoeven was such a big director, and meaning he was just very energetic, and we were on a sound stage with nothing around us. And so he was yelling you're going up, you're going up, you're going down, here's a coming meteor, wah, wah, wah. And he was just so loud and full of, he was so animated and loud and fun. So he kind of got everyone going. And then I took it very seriously. I thought it was a very serious movie. And then I went to the theater. I was like, everyone's laughing. Oh. So it was fun.
I think that's one of the reasons why it works is everybody's playing it so seriously, and it makes it so much funnier. And you've had such a wide-ranging career in comedy as well, in some of these very funny films that kind of, I feel defined a generation. Is there a specific role that you are very proud of your work that you did in that maybe you don't get to talk about as much?
I think the most versatile role I got was Butterfly Effect.
Oh, yeah.
Just because, 4 realities happened to one person. So that was the most challenging and the most deeply rewarding to play that character. But I'm a sucker for comedy and laughing, and I'm going for it. And so Just Friends was great because the director, Roger, he just had us always crank it up to 10. We do the scene and he's like, okay, crank it up to 10. And then, so that we have so many outtakes because we were like, okay, and just off the wall.
Oh, I love That's such a fantastic cast too. Ryan Reynolds and Anna Faris. Like,
Yes.
such a great film. Are there specific moments that you still look back on and you think about like, it's a miracle we made it through that take because we were all just making each other laugh?
I mean, I know I've talked to a couple of people this con where they were like, okay, when you came up to the car window and he's losing it in his Porsche and I have to like give him his gloves back. They're like, what were you doing? Were you laughing kind of? And I was. He was so funny. I was like, oh, hold it together, hold it together. So yeah, I mean, there's so many moments that we're just barely trying to keep it together because it's funny. It's just fun and wacky.
It's very true. Another film of yours that I love, that's actually two films, the two Crank films, which are so great with Jason Statham. What do you recall from filming that's, I mean, I want to say trilogy. We've still not got the third film. Have you heard anything about maybe a third film happening? I know there was kind of some hope for it in like the early 2010s.
Yeah,
and then nothing.
I remember hearing that too. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of died. I didn't hear anything more, but that was wild. Such a wild film. And I love like sort of where Eve goes in the sequel. You know, she's like stripping now.
A stripper with a heart of gold.
With a heart of gold, exactly. Yeah, it was fun. He's so professional. He does his stunts. He's such a badass and so nice. So he always was looking out for me, making sure like I felt comfortable doing my stunts too.
Love that. Speaking of like stunts and that, have you gotten to do any stunts in any of your films? And, you know, is that something that you want to do? Because it is, you know, every actor is like, no, I want to sit back and just watch my stunt double do my work. But it's so fun hearing about that kind of like experience in the world of filming.
Yeah. I mean, I will do it for sure to a degree, but I don't want to like break my arm. So, I mean, I have no problem like having fight scenes and doing all the fun things and but I'm trying to think
sitting here too. I'm like,
yeah, like in Stargirl I had some fight
scenes
scenes that I did, which was fun. I think I had a double in that one too. But
doubles are very important.
But you know, I like that. I'll take it.
Yeah. I loved Stargirl. That was such a great series. I wish we had gotten more of it. What was it like for you to get to join the DCU kind of universe? Because it's got a huge fan base. Stargirl had a very dedicated fan base. What was that like for you? Because I feel like superhero franchises and superhero fan bases are so different from any other fan base.
Yeah, I remember going to meet Jeff Johns in his office, and I immediately was like, oh, he has a heart of gold. I started talking to him, and his heart was so big, and Stargirl was so personal to him. It was his first real comic that was based loosely on his family. Mm-hmm. So the Courtney character is based on his sister who died in a plane crash, and his mom in real life is Barbara, who I played Barbara. So there was a lot of personal homage for him and dedication of creating this great story, and especially the Breck's character, especially Courtney, to be this strong, courageous, badass, you know, teenager, and to go into that universe of DC Universe, and I'm just amazed how you can create all these characters and all these universes and have them all sort of collide and come in and out. I don't even know. It's like writing a symphony. Mm-hmm. I just am like amazed at his brain that he can do that, you know.
Did you find yourself kind of exploring comics at that time too, to find yourself like really immersed in that universe?
Well, I definitely looked at the Stargirl comic, and you know, there's storylines from the comic that they used, obviously, but then it really had to come off the page into like a whole flushed out show. So they made it so much more than a comic. But, you know, in general, I'm not like a huge comic person, but it was interesting. I think it's fascinating and really fun.
Were there specific arcs that you really enjoyed getting to play out with Barbara in the show, and any arcs that you wish you had gotten more time to continue playing with? Because she had so many great dynamics, and there was so much stuff going on there that I still feel like, oh, I wish we could go back and continue that show.
I wish we could too. It was one of my favorite jobs because it lasted. I mean, we had 3 full seasons. We shot 6 months each time, mm-hmm. And Barbara was sort of this matriarchal, center point, and everything wild sort of happened around the family. And so it was really fun to I never was a superhero, but I finally fought tigers. I got little moments of exciting moments of, special stunt stuff. But I wish we could have kept going.
I know. I still hold out hope. Maybe someday something will happen.
Maybe.
But you have gotten to explore so many different genres and different types of characters throughout your career. Is there a specific genre or character type that you haven't gotten to do yet that you're still waiting for the script for?
I haven't done that many period pieces. Ooh. So I think that would be a fun challenge. Whether it's Western or old, I'm not super great with accents. I can do accents, American accents from all over. But I did try an English accent one time in a British romantic comedy that I did get cast for. And then, but I really, now looking back, I coached with this voice dialect coach for 3 times. And then I tried to do it. And all the British actors were like, why did they cast her? And then they changed my character to be from New York instead. Because they were like, oh, she doesn't sound like English at all. So I don't know if I'm going to pull that off in this lifetime. But, I guess if I get enough time coaching with a dialect coach.
Yeah, get you a really good dialect coach. I believe in you.
I need it.
I love that. Speaking of some of the rom-coms and romances that you've done quite a few of the holiday romance genre. What has it been like getting to do some of those films? Because I'm a sucker for those. Anytime it is a little bit cold outside, I'm it's time to watch whatever the new romance is.
Okay. Yeah, I've done a few holiday romance films. I mean, Just Friends was... It's funny because Just Friends, to me, when I read it and when we did it, even though it took place during Christmas time, it didn't feel like it was a Christmas movie. It just felt like it was a funny rom-com relationship movie that happened to take place at Christmas, where more Hallmark movies feel like Christmas movies.
That is true.
And then I did one that was a Valentine's Day movie.
True, yeah.
So it's fun. It's fun playing that.
I love that. I would like to see, are there any fan questions yet? Anybody brave enough to ask the first question? If not, I will keep asking more questions myself.
You have one?
Oh,
I got a question.
yeah.
Casper Van Dien has been trying to reboot Starship Troopers as a TV show.
Oh.
If he came to you with a casting call, would you take it?
With a casting call or
To offer you the job.
to do it?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a good, if they decide to do it well, yeah.
Do you get questions about the reboots of things? Because I feel like reboots are very much, obviously we just got one here, but I feel like reboots and continuations of stories are such a big thing right now. But I'm also curious to know, are there projects that you've worked on that maybe at some time there was maybe we can continue this down the line, that you're still hoping, maybe somewhere down the line you get it?
We do it Just Friends too.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I just want that one. I'm trying to think what else, but
How do you think that would play out? What do you think might happen in a sequel to that?
oh, there's so many variations. I do think Chris and Jamie got married. I think they have kids. Oh. And I don't know what kind of drama ensues.
Well, and speaking about some of the films that you have been part of here recently, what are the kind of projects that you're looking for in terms of scripts? Are there specific things that you look for in a script before you sign on to it? What is kind of the driving force in the choices you make?
I mean, at first, I like TV shows. I like films. I mean, it really starts with the script and how well it's written. And the character, I love, it's so fun to play a new character. And so I'm about to start filming a new character in a couple weeks with David Harbour. And it's a character I've never played, and I'm really excited. So I think it really has to do with the story and the script. I mean, TV shows are fun because they just keep evolving. And it's always fun to sort of see how they weave storylines. And it's fun to be on a project for a while. But So I don't know. We'll
Is
see.
that a TV show or a movie?
A movie.
Oh, very nice. That's
Yeah.
very cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see that. But speaking of TV shows and being able to kind of drop into TV shows, you've had a lot of different guest star roles and co-star roles. What is it like when you join something that has been established for a while, or even when you're in the beginning of a show kind of kicking it off?
Those are two different feelings.
Yes.
Like I came onto Felicity and I was really intimidated because it was a well-oiled machine. Everyone was so good on it, and I was nervous. You know, it's just nerve-wracking coming into a show that they're all like a family already, and you're like, hey, I'm the new person here. I hope I can work into this amazing family you've created. Where it's different when you start from the beginning with a cast, and it feels really strong because like you're all at the foundation at the beginning and growing this project. So
What did you learn from being on Felicity? That was such a beloved show, and I remember watching it so like vividly when I was younger. But I feel like that's a show that still is part of this kind of like cultural zeitgeist. And what was that experience like on the other side of it?
I mean, what's cool about TV shows is that they see how your performance is going, and they write this character, and then they sort of see who you have chemistry with on screen, and you know, they sometimes, like for Felicity, for example, I started doing that, and then I got Road Trip, and then I started and then I had to fly back to Atlanta to shoot Road Trip, and then I came back, and they made me an actor in the show because like they were like, oh, she's acting in real life, let's just make her an actor. It was like a weird, you know, thing. So TV is always evolving, especially if it's not on a DC type of thing, where it's a show that they can keep exploring where they want to take it and how it evolves. So
Am I right in remembering you also had a guest star role on SVU at one point as well? Law
I
and Order?
did. Yeah,
What was that experience like? Because I feel like that's another well-oiled machine.
very well oiled. And Mariska was like, she's such a powerhouse. She's so smart. She's so involved and present, and like you can tell. I mean, obviously they have guest stars all the time, right? And they have the constant of the regular cast, and you can tell that she wants to make every episode great. And so she was very involved. Like we talked about my character, she gave me her ideas, she was really involved, and I loved it. I loved that she cared so much.
Yeah. It's so important when the number one on the call sheet is making everybody feel welcome on a set. And that made me think, you know, early on in your career, were there actors that you worked with that helped you set the standard for what you want it to be when you were number one on a call sheet?
That's a good question. I can't think of off the top of my head right now.
We will come back to that question.
We'll circle back.
But talking about the early days of your career, what were some of the formative kind of roles that you saw on TV or in movies that made you want to become an actor?
I mean, I don't know formative wise, because I didn't think I was going to be an actor as a kid. I just thought I'd be like, I was a ballerina, so I'd perform on stage, and that's what kind of got me into the excitement of performing. Because my idea of an actor was Billy Crystal. He was like, I watched him on the Oscars, and I was like, an actor sings and dances and makes people laugh. It was like my idea. And I was like, well, I don't sing, and, you know, I'm not as outgoing as he is. But then I want to say like my favorite not first movie, but my favorite movie like coming into my own was Dirty Dancing. And I just remember going to theaters and then everyone getting up and dancing in their seat afterwards in the aisles, and the music was playing, and I just thought it was so much fun. And I'd go back, and my friends and I would practice like all the moves. But so that was like my first real like love of a movie.
I love that. Thinking about like working on sets are such an interesting experience. I feel like you don't really understand until you've actually been on them, and long hours, and like there's a million people making a single project come to life. What is something that took a while for you to get used to on set? Sitting in the hair chair for like 3 hours getting something done, or hair and makeup in general. Like, what was something that took a while for you to get used to when you first started out?
I mean, it takes a long time. Like, just in general, to make a film, you'll shoot 30 seconds and that will be a whole day of work. Or, sometimes it's a couple minutes on screen, but I think you just sort of have to have patience and know that when you're filming, it's long hours and it's a lot of downtime. I would say, like,
It's a lot of hurry up and wait.
it's a lot of hurry up and wait. And somebody said, like, about 5% of the time you're actually acting, and the rest you're just waiting around, getting ready, waiting around. So really you have that window of 5% of the time that you need to really go for it. So you got to bring it, not 5%.
Yeah, that is very true, and be fresh and ready every time it's time to go.
Yeah.
I think we have somebody who has a question.
I
Hi,
do.
what's your name and what's your question?
My name is Teresa, and my question is there anyone before you were actually actively acting that you kind of crushed on or liked and then ultimately got to work with them? Ooh. And how did that go? Did that, like, make you more, or did you think,
Oh. I wasn't crushing on him, but I did work with Billy Zabka. And when I first saw him, I was like, whoa, what a badass. But then when I met him, he was so sweet. And so that was like kind of a full circle. That's a good question. All I'm going to say, and this has nothing to do with acting, but I loved New Kids on the Block when I was younger. And Joey, I was like, he's so cute. And then I met him probably 25 years later. I'm like, oh my God. Hey, I remember giving like a security guard like a little note to you. And now I get to meet you.
and do you think about that when you meet people who are just regular people? That they may have followed you all along and...
Yeah, not really, but maybe. I mean, it's fun. It's fun to come to these because I really appreciate sort of hearing about how what we've done has impacted other people, because we don't always get to know, what our films or TV shows have made other people feel, or a place time in their life, or whatever it is. And so this is such a cool forum to be able to connect one-on-one and to see how these films and TV shows have traveled,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there a film or TV show that you've been part of that you've had a fan come up to your table to talk about that, like, it so surprised you that they had watched that, like, project? Because I always love people who are, like, completionists of an actor's filmography, and they, like, look for everything.
Yeah.
And I always wonder, like, what is that for an actor when they're like, oh, you watch that? Okay.
Yeah. So I want to say I did this film called Interstate 60 that is sort of a niche film, but it's really cool and it has a neat cast. And I'm always surprised when people bring that one up.
I love that. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi there. Name's Joe. Pleasure to meet you, Amy.
Hi, Joe.
Loved you in Rat Race, by the way.
Thank you.
Now, I know you just recently said that you had a role that's coming up that you haven't done before, but is there a particular type of role or even a particular character that you haven't done yet that you'd like to do? Just curious.
I mean, there's still so many I would like to do. It's really hard to pin down.
Right.
I mean, is there any that you see me doing?
This is your chance to cast her.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think, Joe? How should we manifest this?
See, I'm a big nerd, and I have aspiring to make adaptations of some of my favorite things. If I was thinking of how to cast you in somewhere like that, if I cast you as Nina Williams in a Tekken movie or something crazy like that. But
Okay.
my imagination's limited. That's where I'm at. So.
I like that.
Generation reboot.
There you go.
What is that?
Tasha Yard, Liz Crosby's character in a Next Generation reboot.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
I'm open.
I love that. I love that those were very nerdy suggestions there, which, what are things that you're nerdy about? Is it, something here, at fan conventions, there's so many different genres and different types of media on display, but also like sometimes people are nerdy about like antiquing or knitting. And like, there's so many different things that people can geek out about. What is the thing that you geek out about?
I'm a big reader. I love reading. I love cooking. I have a little collection of like salt and pepper shakers.
Oh, very nice.
Like old antique ones that are just weird and cool.
Is that the type of collection that's something you seek out, or you mentioned once you loved salt and pepper shakers and now all of your family and friends gift them to you?
No, they don't give it to me, but I don't know. That's like what I like when I go to the antique stores. Like that's what I just like funny little things that have a lot of character.
Do you have a specific one that you're very fond of?
Like there was one on the set of Stargirl that was like on the shelf, and when we wrapped, I was like, "Can I have this?" I sometimes like to take things from sets. I ask first, but
What other kinds of things have you taken from sets with permission?
no, it's always like a little bit of like some decor, like a little whatever. It's kind of fun to like have a little something from whatever film or TV show.
A little memento.
A little memento, yes.
Is there something that you wish you could have taken from a set that you didn't get to take home?
Not really, but I did do a film years ago. Oh my God, sometimes I forget. But they gave me all the wardrobe, and it was real fancy wardrobe. And I was like, yes, thank you. It was a good perk.
That is a very good perk. I see we have another question. Hi, what's your name?
Hello.
What's your name?
Brian, nice to meet you.
Hi, Brian.
So I have a question about Rat Race. It's a crazy movie. Do you have
Yeah.
any fun stories from the set, or crazy stories, or nightmare stories, anything like that?
Playing the helicopter pilot, I did get to actually take a couple lessons in a helicopter. And I learned in a firefighting helicopter, which are humongous helicopters because they need to load up water. So I took some lessons, and it was right, I think, in Long Beach. And so I got to learn, I can't fly a helicopter, but I got to learn the basics. And then when we were shooting that scene, we did shoot in a helicopter, and we were out in Valencia. And we would just we were up in the air doing these figure eights. And then they'd be like, okay, ready? And action. And then we'd come down and we'd shoot the scene and throw shit out of the helicopter and then come back up and then just wait in the air till they were ready to shoot again. And I screamed. That was like the first time I lost my voice for 2 weeks. I was so hoarse after because I just yelled forever. So it was a pretty wild and fun scene. But
And
yeah.
you didn't get sick, though.
Huh?
You didn't get sick in the helicopter.
I didn't. I know. Shit.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That makes me also wonder, what are some other odd skills that you've learned because of a role?
So I did love dancing growing up, and I did a film about West Coast swing called Love and Dancing, and I got to train for 5 weeks to learn how to do West Coast swing. And I don't know, most people have not heard about West Coast swing. It's sort of a niche type of dance, but it's fun and it's a partner's dance. And I love that they just gave me free dance lessons for 5 weeks, and then I got to perform it and be in that whole community, and it's such a strong community of people, and so I loved that. I love dancing, so that was great.
So flying a helicopter,
Flying a
learning to
helicopter,
dance,
dancing.
Any other fun
I mean, I
skills?
took ice skating lessons. Trying to think what else. I don't know.
Don't know. I'm also always curious because every actor I've talked to has a different process for how they build a character. Obviously, you have a script that has a lot of details, but a lot of people will be like, I want to build a playlist or I want to do some journaling. What is your process every time you approach a character, or is it different for each character?
So I think with TV and film, there's not really any rehearsals. Usually maybe the day of you do a blocking rehearsal, but you don't really rehearse that much. If you were doing a play, then you have great rehearsals and time. So I do work with an acting coach that I can sort of work with and sort of build, and it's nice to do it with somebody else. I mean, I could just do it all in my brain, but it's nice to work with a coach that like I can work it out and kind of play with before. So that's usually how I prepare.
That's very nice. I always love hearing that because everybody has their own process. And I'm also curious, early on in your career, was there any notes that you received from any of the directors that you worked with that helped you on like another project? Because I feel like sometimes you will get feedback and you're like, oh, I hadn't thought to look at scenes that way. And then, the next project you come in and you're like, you know exactly how to do this.
Yeah. I do feel like a couple things. One of my first acting teachers, I did a scene in class, and it was a comedy. And the girl that I was doing it with, who was a friend, she was so funny in it that I couldn't stop laughing. And my teacher railed into me. And after we did the scene, we sat down. He was like, Amy, you cannot play the audience. You have to play the character. Like, because I just thought she was so funny, so I kept laughing. And so that taught me how to, like, when you're doing comedy, you have to be so much more committed and in it to go with the drama of the comedy. So that was really a good, like, don't play the audience. Okay. I'm trying to think of what else. And then I remember working on Shameless, and I don't remember what scene, but, I think I sometimes tend to act a little more natural. And the character had a big character, and so he kept being like, more, like, bring it more. And then finally he was like, okay, now you're in the scene. And that was, it's just such an interesting thing being on camera because you never know how it's going to read. And so you sort of have to trust the director to see, like, oh, is this coming across? It's not coming across. Yeah. So
acting requires a lot of trust for everyone around you. It's very intense. I see we have another question. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Joseph.
Hi, Joseph.
I was a big fan of Stargirl, and I'm curious, we kind of got an epilogue at the end of the 3rd season, but is there anything else you can tell us about the plot of a theoretical 4th season that you didn't get to film because of the Nexstar acquisition?
I wish I could. I actually have no idea where they were going to take us. I'm sure Jeff Johns knew because he was planning on 5 to 6 seasons total, but I don't know.
Would you rather The Return be a movie or another like season years later, if you were able to pick?
It's a good question. I mean, shoot, I'd do either. Yeah. What would you think? Like, what do you think?
I would be happy either one. I think the epilogue that we got at the end of season 3 left us wanting more.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like felt like a credit scene of a movie.
Right. Right, because I think, when we went into shooting the 3rd season, we thought for sure we would get at least 2 more seasons. And by the end of the 3rd season, it was like, oh, I don't know if we're coming back for a 4th season. It was like, oh, really? Because they were selling CW at that point, and it came at the end of shooting the 3rd season. So they sort of had to, like, change things and, wrap things up in a way. But it's a good question. I should reach out to Jeff and be like, so
if I get asked this again,
if we do this, no, but like, shall we do a movie or a film a TV show?
I feel like either like a short mini series or like a movie or something could help wrap everything up.
Yes.
I mean, that epilogue kind of answered some questions, but I'm curious to know, like, when you find out that a show is not going to continue, what is that kind of like reaction? Because obviously it's like, okay, well, now I have to find another job, but also you're losing people that have become a family to you. Do you remember what that wrap was like? Was it a difficult wrap compared to some of the other projects you wrapped on?
Yeah, when we wrapped, it was kind of, we really just found out like a couple days before we wrapped that it was maybe not going to go. So we didn't really know until the very end of wrap. And then that was like in April, I think. And then we didn't know that it was for sure getting canceled till it was Halloween. So we had that whole time that they were like trying to sell it to other networks because CW was being sold, and they were trying to find a home for it, and they didn't. So it was sad. It's sad. It's sad. I'm sure not all shows love the family they built, but we all really loved each other and loved making this film. And also when they build sets and they create, like they had the whole house and they had all these sets built on these stages and all the costumes, especially the superhero costumes. It's like, oh no, it's all going to go to waste and be, taken apart and meh.
Had they started striking everything at that point too, because they knew, or were they still holding out?
No, they were
hope to the end?
holding. Yeah, they like held on until they got the final. Like, nope, not happening.
That is so sad.
I know.
I'm also sitting here thinking about the audition process that you've probably gone through for each of the roles that you've booked. What would you say was the most difficult or the longest audition process for one of the roles that you ultimately booked?
The longest. I mean, they have actually not been that long. I've like had a callback and then a test, and then, for example, like Stargirl, I met Jeff, and then I had a chemistry test with Luke Wilson, and then I booked it. so I got lucky with that one. And then for Road Trip, I had a audition and then a callback, and then so it's not been too labor intensive.
I know sometimes you hear about these stories where it's like, I auditioned like 4 times and then heard nothing for a year.
I
It's
know.
like everybody has such a vastly different experience.
They totally do. Yeah, I don't have that yet. We'll see.
Are there any auditions that you think back on and like, I'm trying to figure out how to ask this, but like, was like really surprising, like the material that you got to work with that then was on screen, or like it kind of like surprised you, that maybe even surprised you that you booked it in the end? Like, I always love hearing about like the process of auditions, because like we said, it's always a wildly different experience.
Yeah. Well, speaking of auditions, now we just self-tape.
Just so weird.
It's so annoying. Because you have to be your own director, your own editor, your own
Lighting.
lighting. Oy. I'm like doing it in my basement. I'm like, does this look okay? It's after COVID it changed. All the casting directors just started. So in one way, everyone could live wherever they wanted because you didn't have to be in LA or New York. But on the other hand, it's like it lost that energy of going into a room and auditioning in person. And I wish that would come back.
I know. The in-person experience just can't be beat, really.
It really can't. I just think you get so much in person that, a tape, it's okay, but I don't know.
What are some of the other things that you've seen change for the better or the worse throughout the acting, kind of experience over the course of your career?
I mean, the landscape now is so much different than when I started. When I started, I felt like it was some actors only did films, and some actors only, were in TV, and TV was not as cool as film. And then all the film stars started going to TV, so there was that. And
like
then
they're
it was
all
like
on a streaming show now.
A-listers
It's
are going to
crazy.
TV, and then the streamers. I don't know. I think now there's just so many films, and there's so many films, so many TV shows. I think everyone thinks that they can be an actor, and maybe they don't train as much now. I don't know. It's just different.
It is different. It's even changed just since COVID, really. I mean,
And then reality shows came out, like they weren't really happening when. I did one of the first reality shows, which was Project Greenlight, the making of a film, which definitely like they created more drama than with the editing and all the stuff, but it was fun.
as they do for reality shows.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, are there other kind of roles within filmmaking that you wish that you could explore, either be a writer or a director? Because I love, or even, producing. What are the things that kind of still you're like, I still have that in my back pocket, I might do someday?
Yeah. I have tried to produce a couple of films, and it's really hard. There's so many moving parts. There's, I've found stories. I had writers write scripts, and then trying to sell it, and then it's just like, I was so new in that world. I'm like, so it was. So I hope to keep doing that. But
Any temptation to write or direct?
I mean, I did co-write a script with a friend, but not really direct.
No?
I'm good with that.
Do we have any more questions as we start winding down? I promise you, yes.
Have you binge watched the show? And if so, what was the most recent show you binge watched?
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, so I just I'm working with David Harbour on a film, so I just binge watched his show.
Oh, DTF.
DTF
So
St.
good.
Louis. It was so good. And then I did just binge watch Beef too. Beef second season. So good too.
Who's directing the film? I feel like I know what film this is, and I just cannot remember who the director is on it.
Which one?
That you're getting ready to do.
Oh, Alex.
Okay, yes.
I can't even say his last. He's really good.
I remember seeing something, I think in Deadline or something. but
Yeah,
Yes.
with Gabby Hoffman too. Yeah.
Yes. I'm very excited for that one.
Yeah.
Any more questions? If you're afraid, oh, yep. Amy, go ahead.
I mean, the experience of Rat Race was really fun because I felt really challenged with all the other incredible comedians. I was so excited Whoopi Goldberg, got to meet her and work with her. And that was fun because we shot in Ely, Nevada, we shot in Calgary, we shot in Valencia. It was like back when we were shooting movies and had a big production and was shooting all over. So that was fun. And then I really enjoyed Just Friends because it was a great experience. And, again, the director just had us all just be wild and crazy.
Was there a lot of improv with Just Friends because
Yeah.
of that? Yeah.
There was a fair amount of improv for sure. And that's kind of the magic when people can improv and, take the character and do something else with it. And so Roger Cumble was really encouraging of that and just, going for it.
Is that fun being able to be spontaneous and have that kind of freshness for each take because everybody is kind of doing their own thing and getting to explore the improv of it all?
Yeah, I mean, I love improv. I did take some improv classes at the Groundlings, and it's fun not knowing what's going to happen. It's fun not being too over rehearsed because then there's room for, something original, something interesting to come to life.
Is there a specific moment that you can think on Just Friends that you brought something fresh and new to a take that made it into the final cut?
I don't know.
Do you watch your own work? That's a good question to ask you before I ask you to tell me what makes it to the final cut.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've mostly watched my work, and I feel like I'm a better critic if it's been like a couple years. I see it right away, and I'm like, it's
I know
hard.
some people see something on TV, flipping through channels, and it's like, oh my gosh, no, can't see myself. But that's cool to be able to reflect on it and look back.
Yeah.
Are there any specific roles that you kind of find yourself wanting to revisit that you maybe haven't revisited in a while that you're like, it's time to rewatch this and reflect on it?
Of my own?
Yeah, of your own, yeah.
Oh, geez, I don't know.
Starship Troopers, maybe?
I did actually rewatch that. I hadn't seen it in a long time, but we had a convention last October, and I was with part of the cast. I'm like, I got to rewatch this.
I feel like somebody needs to do a rewatch with the entire cast, Mystery Science Theater style.
Totally.
Because I feel like all of you are very funny, and the commentary would be fantastic.
That would be really fun.
I
I could be into that.
As one of my last questions, I would love to know, I find the transformative, and I'm curious if there's any specific role that you've had that you felt that it had an impact on you and changed the way that you either looked at something in the world, something in yourself, or something in those around you, because it's a transformative experience.
I agree. There's a lot of catharsis in acting and in these roles, and I do find that there's some parallels. If the character I'm playing is going through something, there's something similar that I'm learning or experiencing in my life. And and I find on a spiritual level, you know, if I get to play a character that is a certain way, there's something that me, Amy, I'm learning as well, or expressing. And so I feel like even the butterfly effect, I was like, whew, you know, there was a lot of catharsis and changes and, you know, feelings in that one.
Is there a character that's the most like Amy? That was the least amount of like having to let go of something when you were done at the end of the day because she was so similar to you?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Good question.
You can think on it.
I'll think on it.
Yes. Any more questions? Oh, I see a hand.
Hi, so I'm Chip.
Hi, Chip.
Thanks so much for coming today.
Yes.
I'd like to show some love to Varsity Blues.
Yes.
18-year-olds
Oh.
love that movie, and I think you low-key have one of the best characters in that.
Thank you.
And some of what you guys were talking about made me wonder, do you ever think about where your character would be today? Like 30 years from now. She was, you know, Jules Harper was like always someone that I thought was like smart and would get out of her small town. If you change that movie to basketball, that could be my hometown here in Indiana.
Okay.
I've always wondered, like, do you ever think about where would she be today, 30 years later? I assume she got out of that small town.
I assume you're right. I think she would have, because I think there was like a rebelliousness in her that just didn't want any of that, but that loved her boyfriend, but then didn't want to support him, but did want to support him. Yeah, so that's a good question. It would be fun to see, you know, for some of these films, it would be fun to see where they would go now, and who would they be. And I mean, Varsity Blues was such a fun movie to film. We did 10 weeks in Austin, and we were all, you know, in our early 20s, and they definitely were like, we are not putting you up downtown Austin because there are way too many bars. So they stuck us in the suburbs, like 25 minutes outside of town. So we would be focused, and we would do a good job, and, you know. So it felt like camp, kind of. And then John Voight was amazing, and he, during lunch breaks and stuff, we would sit down, he would tell us stories about his, you know, experiences, and he'd kind of mentor us. And so it was a real sort of, we were all growing as actors doing that film. And so thanks for asking. I appreciate it.
Fantastic. Last call for questions.
Last call.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, Shameless was awesome. John Wells, I'd worked with him before, and he just produces such great TV shows. And Emmy Rossum was great. I met with her for coffee before even, because she was so dedicated in that role and coming in as Jasmine. I mean, I really loved playing her because she was just devious and fun. And Shameless was, I loved playing the character, the set, the crew, the writing was so great. You know, they were very professional. Like, they made sure, because sometimes with your TV shows, they give you these little sides, which are all your lines and stuff. And some actors get lazy and they don't remember their lines, and then they're like rehearsing and people are not remembering. But they made sure like there was no sides on set. Like, once you got on set, everyone had to know their lines. So that makes it easier to have fun with because everyone already knows their lines, you know? And yeah, I would go back and play Jasmine in a heartbeat.
Well, I want to say thank you so much for joining us this
you.
afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. If you were too shy to ask a question, are you headed back to your table?
I'm back to my table.
Yeah, so you can go talk with her there. Let's put our
Okay.
hands together one more time for
Thanks,
Amy
guys.
Smart.
Thank you so
you.
much.